Thank you, Adrian. A very good evening to you. The last meeting with Germany here was one of the great days for England. A night of sweet success and sweet Caroline, of a bandwagon gaining momentum, of snowballing belief. But as Germany come back to Wembley 15 months on, their hosts are a shadow of that team. Tonight's game rendered largely academic by Friday's defeat in Milan. An exercise in avoiding unwanted records of salvaging pride. England back in a position where they're playing a situation as well as the opposition. So this, the final 90 minutes before the World Cup squad is named. A farewell to a Nations League campaign that's been a footballing disaster. The last chance to find a semblance of form as a collective ahead of their World Cup opener, which is 8 weeks today. The weight of expectation has often been a burden to their predecessors, unlikely at the moment to be a factor in Doha. And the same's true for Germany, whose flick-inspired post-Loeb renaissance has run out of steam in the last 3 months, culminating in them losing their unbeaten record under their new boss with a home defeat to Hungary. Don't worry, lads, we've all been there. But if other England-Germany matches might perhaps have enjoyed more cachet than this one, tonight's could go a long way towards shaping the immediate future. Victory will restore a measure of internal belief and external faith. But going into a World Cup on the back of a 4th match without a goal or a 6th game without a victory would ramp up the pressure before they've set foot on Qatari soil. But before kick-off, Wembley will stand and remember. The first home game of the season coming at the end of a month of emotion, of melancholy and pageantry, of sadness and even moments of sombre beauty. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II shared in England football's finest moment, and tonight's 3 Lions wear red to pay tribute and remember the moment. So Jeff Hurst is the first man out, and he lays a wreath in the middle of the pitch on the halfway line, and he is flanked either side by Debbie Hewitt, the FA chair, and Bernd Neuendorf, her counterpart from the German FA.
And German Football Association now observe a period of silence. This tribute will start and end on the referee's whistle.
Es folgt nun eine Schweigeminute.
Well, that was an emotional, almost remarkably still minute's silence. Quite beautiful. It certainly gets the hairs on the back of your necks going. That stillness almost without parallel. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II remembered by England supporters and by their German counterparts as well. Not a sound to be heard. Well, Friday brought frustration, deflation and relegation. Tonight, the final 90 minutes of 3 Lions action before the World Cup, and if it's too late to save status, there's a need to save face and find some positive vibes ahead of the real business in hand. Germany in white shirts with a black central stripe and black shorts get us underway. They are kicking from right to left. England in all red, in tribute to the Queen, who shared in England football's finest moment here in 1966. Harry Kane wrestling inside the centre circle gives the first free kick away. I'm delighted to say, alongside me, former England captain and legend Stuart Pearce.
Hi Jim, looking forward to the game tonight. I think we've glorified what the Nation League is, albeit this being the last game of the Nation League. I still think it's a fantastic game, brilliant last game for us to go into the World Cup, and I've got to say I'm really impressed with the England kit, really striking.
Germany will play out from the back through the midfield. I'll go through the two teams for you in a moment. İlkay Gündoğan showing for the ball in the midfield, but it's Kimmich, the captain, who's just able to work it forward into the centre of midfield for Leroy Sané. And then Shaw sliding in on the far touchline, does well. Good clean challenge with a block play for towards Sterling ahead of him. Shaw and Sterling combining again, the two of the 6 players in tonight's starting lineup who started the Euros final. Good advantage play by the referee as Kane is clobbered in the midfield. The ball laid off by Bellingham, who knows so many of his opponents tonight from his time in the Bundesliga. Jude Bellingham with 100 games for Borussia Dortmund behind him now. And the ball is laid back for Harry Maguire, and it's driven forward through the midfield. Just nodded down, but not particularly effectively by the left-back Raul. A chance for James to work it down the right-hand side of the penalty area. But Kane swings in the cross, and it goes out of play for a throw.
Yeah, good solid start by England there. It's really important we get the ball forward when we can. James having the ball on a couple of occasions. Probably in an ideal world where I'd like to see him take the defender on one-on-one and just put him on the back foot in these early stages.
Here's Luke Shaw again over on the left-hand side for England. And it's played back through the midfield. You're with Talksport live at Wembley tonight. 0-0 in the very early stages. 2.5 minutes gone. And John Stones is back in the England team after suspension. If you're just joining us, 1 or 2 changes made tonight. He replaced Walker. He's laid it back for Nick Pope there, and Pope's distribution from the back was one of the talked about features at the San Siro on Friday night, and he seemed to wait an extra half a second on that occasion before chipping the ball out to the left-hand touchline, and it's run out of play and goes out for a Germany throw.
Yeah, the problem he's got is he's not as comfortable on that left side on his left foot, and the German attacker there just cut off his right foot, and he had no option but to play a sort of straightish ball, crossfield ball with his right foot, which was overhit. I think from England's point of view, I'd like to see us get it forward a little bit more and get us on the front foot and not be too cautious and playing at the back, certainly in these early stages.
England lining up with Pope in goal, Stones, Dyer and Maguire the back 3, James, Bellingham and Rice and Shaw, and then Foden, Kane and Sterling. Germany to Stegen in goal, Kehrer, Sule, Schlotterbeck and Raum, Kimmich and Gündoğan, Hoffmann, Musiala and Sané, and Kai Havertz up front. It's Germany in possession with Havertz, laying it out to the right-hand touchline, just back behind Musiala. And England are going to be able to bring it away again. Coming into this game on the back of a winless streak of 5. There have been 3 previous occasions in the 21st century that England have gone 5 without a win, and they've won game number 6 every time. Most recently back in 2014, where they ended that winless run by beating Norway by a goal to 0. We're hoping for something similar again tonight. Luke Shaw's got the ball in his hand over on the far touchline, thrown forward. Slightly awkward angle for Kane, who tried to volley it through the midfield. It didn't quite come off for him, but stumbled by Leroy Sané on the Germany left just allows Reece James to pick up possession, and he will find Bellingham. Bellingham going back for Stones in his white boots, about 7-8 yards outside his own penalty area. And England playing it not in a great tempo, but the passing is crisp, with James finding Bellingham. Bellingham put under pressure, but he's happy to go back, withstanding the challenge from Havertz. Back it goes for Pope in all yellow tonight. Pope drives it forward, where Sterling inside the centre circle has done well to be able to control the ball and beat Niklas Sule. The ball played out towards Shaw on the left, and it didn't quite come off for England. Goes out of play for a Germany throw. We're 5 minutes in, and it's still England 0, Germany 0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, we've had a couple of instances there where England, you can see it just missing a slight ingredient. There was Kane had a great opportunity to free the ball out on the left-hand side to Shaw, and over it his pass, and obviously Nick Pope's clearance earlier. 2 possessions give away. Still like to see, we're right in front of Reece James here. I'd like to see him just get advanced a little bit more, give and go and get beyond the opposite fullback if possible.
Shaw chipping it forward into space, and Sterling will chase after it. Sule's got it, lays it back for Much the experienced Ter Stegen, and he will play it out from the back, and Brown wins the throw, playing it off at Reece James. Throw to be taken on the Germany left. Germany themselves in no great form, and then the home defeat to Hungary the other night was their first under Flick, first in 14 games, but they've only won one of their last 6 matches, haven't picked a clean sheet in any of those, so they too, like England, just got off the boil recently. They've got the ball in the midfield now, an opportunity for Musiala, who played for England at under 17, under 21 level, to bring it forward. Kimmich wanted to take responsibility, his club teammate, but Musiala maintained possession, plays it out towards the right. Back he comes again via the German captain Kimmich to Ilkay Gundogan, and then the awkwardly directed ball from Schlotterbeck. Pass betraying his nerves perhaps as he wins just his 5th cap for his country tonight, and he goes out of play behind Brown and out for a throw. But Stuart, you're motioning to me there's no great hurry for England to restart play here, and when they do restart it, it's thrown back to Maguire, who wasn't the obvious pass, and as a result I don't think he was expecting it. Points it forward, it became a fight ball, and England have quickly lost possession.
Yeah, Reece James got on the ball, had it in his hands, and he's got options going back to Stones or potentially Bellingham. He's took his time, and what tends to happen, you take your time, it gets tighter and tighter, and he ended up giving the ball to Maguire, who's in a worse position than the 2 individuals I named earlier.
Schlotterbeck, just inside England territory, and just in front of Gareth Southgate in his charcoal suit. Ball played back for Süle, inside the centre circle for Germany, and into the feet of Musiala, who can turn and try and get away from Rice, who had just caught him. The referees played the advantage, and then England win it back. Bellingham's done well, and Foden can break forward, and it's 3 against 3, with Kane to Foden's right, Sterling's in the middle, he's chipped in, but just too far ahead of Foden, and will drift down a play for a goal kick down by the corner flag, but much better from England. That's the kind of chance that really they've made the hallmark of under Gareth Southgate, when they can turn over possession in deep areas and get bodies going forward quickly. That's often when they look at their most dangerous.
Yeah, it certainly is. Bellingham, good pressure in the challenge there, and it was 3v3, and if I'm being pretty harsh, I would expect us to get a better effort than that. You know, 3v3, your heart's in your mouth if that's England defending that. With the Germans, I think certainly Foden, Sterling and Kane should have probably done better, at least getting a strike at goal.
That's good play by Bellingham to be the architect of all of that, much further upfield. Germany will bring it forward with Kimmich spraying one out towards the right-hand side for Kehrer, the West Ham man, finding Manchester City's Ilkay Gundogan in the midfield. Hoffman involved as well. Gundogan just passing it off to his left-hand side for Kimmich. Hoffman makes a run towards the edge of the penalty area as Kehrer receives possession, and then played back for Gundogan, who thought about the early long diagonal ball out of the left-hand side of the area for Raum, but he's worked it out the other way instead as it comes in away from Kai Havertz. England not in a position to take any chances, concede a corner as Dyer heads it away, and the first corner of the game goes Germany's way with 9 gone on Talksport at 0-0. Stuart Pearce.
I think it's really important. We spoke on Friday night about England's pressure and pressing the opposition, and I mean in all areas of the pitch, not just from the front, and I think it's important the Germans just playing through us, and we've got to make sure we get nice and tight to any straight balls.
So Germany have 5 inside the penalty area. They got Kehrer by the penalty spot. Ball is swung in very deep, too deep for Havertz, who tried to control it by stretching out a left foot, and they just couldn't quite bring it down, and then he's been well beaten, and Stones can bring it away. Stones controlling, it's a lovely ball forward for Raheem Sterling, who controls it, then tried to thread in Foden, almost got it turned down the inside left channel. England then win the seconds. Kane flicking it forward, didn't quite get the angle right, and Schlotterbeck is back there to clear. But again, promising moves from England, getting the ball forward with a little more pace than we ever saw in the San Siro on Friday night. They have it at the back again with Maguire. Chipped down towards Reece James with this a lighter streak in his hair. Back from him to Stones, and Stones for Nick Pope, who controls the ball away to our left with 10 minutes in, 0-0. England failing to score in the last 3 games. Harry Kane's penalty in Munich, the last one that they did score, as Pope again waits too long in getting the ball away. He's charged down, he's got the one that tries his luck on the edge of the penalty area, but his right foot effort goes over the bar. The good pressure from the front by Musiala, and Nick Pope nearly embarrassed.
Yeah, once again, good press from the front from Musiala. Cut off Pope's right foot, and all of a sudden he's a little bit limited, and it puts that element of doubt in his mind. Can't see the pass, and once again there's been 2 incidences now early in the game, and if you nick Pope, you make sure that you don't get caught on that ball.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the headlines are tomorrow morning. Stuart Pearce will be reacting to them with you tomorrow morning on the Talksport Breakfast. You're alongside Laura Woods and Ali McCoy, live from 6 on 1089 or 10:53 a.m. DAB via the Talksport app and Talksport Edge. Theo Walcott on the programme this morning, you may have heard, speaking ahead of tonight's game, said that he prefers seeing the 3-line set up 4-3-3. I think the fact that they've gone 3-4-3 again tonight with largely the same personnel would portray the fact that that's Gareth's plan A, very much plan A for the World Cup. Sterling's got possession on the England left, down by the corner flag, and drives it in. Goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. England just about shading possession through the opening 11 and a half minutes, which is 0-0 here on Talksport. An opportunity to try and get a long throw inside the penalty area if that's what's required, although Shaw has the ball in his hands. It's going to be a long throw. It's extremely well disguised. He just drops it short in the end, but the feet of Declan Rice work back down the left-hand side of the penalty area and then cleared by Carey. Another play for another throw in an almost identical position, which Shaw will trot forward to take. 0-0 with 12 gone. So 284 minutes since Harry Kane scored England's last goal. It's the first time since 2000 that England have failed to score in 3 successive games. The last time it happened, Gareth Southgate actually was in the team for all 3 of those matches, which all came under different managers. Kevin Keegan, Howard Wilkinson, and ultimately Peter Taylor as well. England just caught offside on the edge of the German penalty area. And barring those a couple of nervy moments for Nick Pope with the ball at his feet, it's been relatively routine from England's standpoint defensively at the moment, but just haven't quite been able to create enough going the other way. 0-0 in all of the Nations League games that are taking place at the moment, 7 of them, including the other one in this group, which is goalless between Hungary and Italy. That'll be enough for the Hungarians to win the group. It's goalless here at Wembley as well, as England work it forward, but just away from Sterling, and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the German right.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Good play by Maguire. Won the ball back, dipped inside, and just his slid ball along to Sterling. Just overhit it slightly. We're at the moment, we're probably about 5% off from getting things a little bit perfect, you know, and that's the nature of a team that are playing with real confidence and ones that are, as we are at the moment, suffering slightly.
Schlotterbeck playing through the midfield into the feet of Gundogan, and he gets it back again, goes to his right hand side for the tall, long-legged Niklas Süle, who recently joined Dortmund on a free from Bayern Munich. Now played forward into Leroy Sané, such a familiar figure, laying it back for Gundogan, his former club teammate. Out towards the right-hand side for Hoffman. Back for Gundogan again. This is 20 yards inside England territory now as the ball is chipped forward. It's headed away by Luke Shaw and then brought down by Rice. Maguire tried to clear, can't quite get it right. He does come back and cover, but as the cross comes in and is blocked, it goes out of play for another German corner.
Yeah, second corner for the Germans, I think, and first one way over hit. I suggest that Kimmich will get his accuracy a little bit better this time round.
Well, he's gone across to take it. German captain wearing 6. They have 5 forward for the last corner. They've got 6 in the penalty area this time. Sané just retreats again. Bellingham keeping an eye on him. He's gone back to the edge of the D. It's gone in towards the far post again. Schlotterbeck heading it back, looking for Süle. It's cleared, and then Bellingham gets a second header on it from an England perspective. An important touch away from Kane inside his own penalty area before Sterling volleys it upfield. Foden, who's always left as the most advanced England player when they're defending a set piece, chased after Sterling's ball, but it was easy for Germany to get it back, and they have it still inside England territory over on their right hand side with Hoffman. Play back for Schlotterbeck to Süle inside the centre circle. Süle to Ilkay Gundogan. Havertz dropping deep, gets the ball into feet, and it's played back through the midfield again. Sula once more. Just trying to engage Kane. Flicks it out towards the right-hand side for Thilo Kjær. Now West Ham. Gundogan flighting it in towards the edge of the D, but Bellingham's diving header gets it away before it finds Havertz. The referee, though, spotted something off the ball and has given a free kick Germany's way. Raum complaining that he was just manhandled, and Danny Macaulay, the referee, just waited to see if anything developed from that, and when it didn't, he's pulled play back. And the incident itself, Stuart, probably a good 10 yards off the ball, but Raum ended up just being pulled down towards the edge of the D, and this is a free kick for Germany in a really good position.
Yeah, and looking at the referee's reaction there, I'm not sure he saw it. I think someone had a word in his ear and saw it off the ball.
Well, it's an even better position for the free kick when you consider that they're not taking it from the right place, because Germany have brought it back about 6 yards from where the infringement happened, and in so doing have given themselves more chance of being able to get the ball over the wall and back down again. Gundogan stands over it. Kimmich is taking what might end up to be more than just a watching brief. Leroy Sané not too far away from it either. Gundogan looks the favourite, but it could just be tapped to his right-hand side. Germany have lined up a three-man wall of their own in front of England's contingent, which is 5 strong, and then has a player lying down behind the wall in that draft excluder position. As well as that 5-man wall, there are 2 to the side of it. When it comes in, they've been able to block it effectively enough, and England will be able to bring it away with James, who showed good tenacity, and he was being pulled back, and the referee's given England a free kick in the right back position midway inside their own half. We played 17 minutes, and it's England 0, Germany 0.
Yeah, really good solid wall there by England. As I say, didn't get the I think he was looking to get it up and down. Good block. Suspicions of a little arm by Declan actually, but his arm was quite close to his body.
And they'll flight it forward looking for Kane, who beats Kimmich, but Sula wins the seconds. Left-footed half volley forward. Shaw brings it down, and that time there was a handball by Havertz. And it's a free kick which England will take. I'm sure you'll have your thoughts on the formation, on the starting lineup, those included, not in the 23-man squad tonight. When we're done here at Wembley, whatever the score, however England perform over the remainder of the game, it'll be your time to have your say on national radio with Jason Cundy, and Carlton Palmer will also be bringing you reaction from Gareth Southgate, who'll be speaking to Talksport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers. You can get your calls in on the usual number 03717 223344 at the conclusion of this game, 10 o'clock tonight, here on Talksport. Ball's back with Marc-Andre ter Stegen. First choice for the last 6 and a bit seasons now at Barcelona. There's Musiala, who's done well to maintain possession. Quick feet from him as he was getting banged from all angles. Back he goes with ter Stegen. High ball over the top from him, far too long for Havertz, and it just runs through to Nick Pope.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed with Musiala in these early stages. Jim looks very confident on the ball, busy, trying to get on the ball. And from England's point of view, we just had a free kick early on there, and we took an eternity to play it. I think the ball's on to get out to Shaw and James nice and early, and they want early ball.
It should be one over the top here for Havertz, who's leading the line, but not as an orthodox number 9. It's the same way that he does with Chelsea, just encouraging the likes of Sané and Musiala to make runs in past them. And then Gundogan has given a free kick away. Foul going England's way about 7 yards inside their own half. England just have a winning record against German opposition through history. Germany won only one of the last 4 meetings of these two, with a Lucas Podolski goal in Dortmund in 2017. England, of course, drawing in Munich in this competition back in June, and winning here last year with that never-to-be-forgotten victory in the round of 16 in the Euros, with Sterling and Kane both striking late. England will be more than happy with a repeat of that tonight. But it's just a patient game at the moment, and England again have given it away. Shaw, the culprit this time, sending it straight to Sané. An opportunity for Hoffman to turn, which he does about 10 yards outside the England penalty area. Back he goes for Kimmich. Kimmich driving it in, headed away by James before he got to the left-back Raum, who certainly has been taking up more advanced position. Stones lays it back for Pope. and that was risky, and Pope got it clear, but it was a close run thing, because there were two German players who read it, and it was under hit, and it made life very difficult for Pope. He showed great anticipation. He just got it clear of Hoffman, who was trying to bear down on him and charge the clearance down. It could have gone anywhere had he made contact. Hoffman actually went down hurt. He's okay and back up on his feet. Then as Schlotterbeck drives the ball inside the penalty area, England can clear down the left-hand side, but that nervousness about Nick Pope, and about almost a nervousness within the defenders when they play it back to him at the moment, is a real impediment as far as England is concerned.
Yeah, I can see two sides of it there. It's come back to Nick Pope that, for me, it should never have gone back to him. We've had two players that played backward passes in their own box rather than forward passes, and that's probably symptomatic of where we are at the moment. It's got to be a little bit quicker, and it's got to be forward. Whether that's be running with the ball or passing it forward to get us on the front foot, squeeze us up the pitch, and just get some confidence within the group. We're just short of it at the moment, and people are playing slightly too safe and too slowly.
A couple of red cards in the Nations League already tonight. Montenegro down to 10, 0-0 at home to Finland, and same story, North Macedonia down to 10, 0-0 at home to Bulgaria. The only goal so far, Georgia leading in Gibraltar 1-0. That one's academic. Is Georgia already up, and they could be one of the League B opponents for England in the next Nations League campaign. Gundogan's got it for Germany, laying it back for ter Stegen. It's goalless and largely chanceless here on a pretty fine North London night. One back by Rice in the midfield. Eric Dyer running round it, is able to turn and lay it down for John Stones. Bellingham makes a good run forward from the midfield. It's just headed away before he got to him, but he dragged Sula out of position. Schlotterbeck did enough with the aid of the retreating Gundogan, but he's lost it. Comes off his heels and finds Kane on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Kane pulling it back for James. James has got 4 in the box, but he can't deliver. It was well blocked by the left-back round, and Sane will be able to bring it away. And of all the full-backs on the pitch, Raum is far and away the most attack-minded. Germany bring it forward on the right-hand side now. Looking for Raum, who's made a run inside the penalty. He's been able to pull it back. Bellingham does well, wins the seconds, then Raum drives it back in again, looking for Gundogan. England on the stretch can clear with Maguire. But England don't have a player who's got the same attacking intent pushing forward from fullback as Raum has done the German left.
No, they certainly haven't. As far as we are in the game so far, I think Reece James has had opportunity to go with and without the ball and get further up the pitch. And it's one thing getting up the pitch, Jim, it's another playing the ball quickly to encourage our wing-backs to get up the pitch. Normally a marker of how well or badly the team are doing is how far the wing-backs' average position are.
The Rams will be, I would imagine, some way inside England territory. I don't know that any of the other full-backs or wing-backs on the pitch will be out of their own half from what we've seen at the moment. Germany have a free kick. This will be 20 yards inside England territory, halfway between the halfway line and the edge of the box. Just close to the edge of the box, and it comes from Raum's delivery. Good header away came from Stones. England win the seconds with Rice, wearing 7 tonight for England. And he's played it back for Maguire. Shaw. Sterling making a darting run through the middle, and they try to play him in, and he's going to get there. It's Raheem Sterling, keeps his head, but his left-footed shot is beaten away by ter Stegen. Clearest chance of the afternoon so far, and it fell for Raheem Sterling, did really well. It was a great run, good pass to Feldman, turned inside quite beautifully, but a crisp left-footed shot was well saved by ter Stegen. But listen to the encouragement that it has given the England supporters, because that was much better.
It certainly was. Great football by England, forward passes by England, great run by Sterling, and I think he done everything right, goalkeeper.
And Sterling has it again as the ball is worked out to the right-hand side of the box, and it's laid in by Foden. And Kane stands motionless 7 yards from goal, indicating exactly where he wanted the ball to be played. Kerr has stopped it getting there. And England get a corner, they will feel that they might have had more.
Yeah, really good full flight play there. Pull back there, just watching the replay, just behind Harry Kane. And Kerr got there to tidy up. If he'd have missed it, Shaw was coming in at the far post.
0-0, but much better from England. Reece James with the corner, headed on by Stones, but off the top of his head. It was too firm a contact, really. Neither an effective flick on or an effort towards goal. England have been able to maintain possession, picking it up on their left with Bellingham. And he'll combine very well with Sterling, who's had a real zip about him tonight, and he wins another corner. This time England will take it on their left flank. It's 0-0, 25 gone, but the last 3-4 minutes have been England's best.
Almost the last couple of phases of play has enabled England to play with a little bit more confidence and arrogance in their play, and so they should. They're good players, and this summer certainly playing on a good vein of form.
6-4 for England, left-footed away swinging delivery, Kane heading it back into the fray, and it's cleared, and he's volleyed it, just a fraction wide. Well, it would have been his 51st goal for England and one of the sweetest. His first header back in was cleared, and it came back out to him, and he's hit a dipping side-footed right-foot volley across the face of goal, and he's only missed the far post by about 4 or 5 inches.
Well, Jim, let me just elaborate on that. For those members in this box and in the stadium that remember Van Basten's goal in '88, very, very similar.
And you can pay it absolutely no higher a compliment than that. Well, it's been made of Harry Kane's goal-scoring record in this competition. I mean, his record for England is extraordinarily good. 50 goals in 75 games, including tonight. But in the Nations League, just 2 in 17. He's played in every Nations League match that England have ever played. Just the 2 goals, one of them against Germany last time he featured against them. In fact, he's played against Germany 3 times in his career and scored in all 3. He wasn't too far away from being able to increase that record there. At the best moment of the game. England with that chance, with an excellent opportunity for Sterling, where he forced a good save from ter Stegen. Germany have possession, and they've got it with Süle. Both of the German centre-halves finding themselves very much over towards the left-hand side of the pitch at the moment. Schlotterbeck stays back as Süle continues to bring it forward, and England win it back with Kane. Kane getting the better of Sane and slipping it in towards Sterling, who can't find Foden. It was a glorious opportunity for him. He's just overhit the pass. It seemed a simple pass. He knew the run Foden was going to make, and it was almost as if the ball had hit an inconceivable divot. That was how off target the pass from Sterling was. So he's hit it 3 times as hard as he needed to, and hangs his head in frustration at his inability to find Foden. Another promising moment for England, but that one fizzled out a little too quickly of their own volition. The ball goes out for a throw which will be taken on the German right now, down by the corner flag, and Maguire stayed down injured for a moment. It's an awkward fall for him. He's back on his feet. Germany taking the throw quickly to capitalise on any uncertainty he's got. The ball played out towards the German left around. He's got Schlotterbeck behind him. Trying to work it slightly more constructively forward through the midfield for Gundogan. It's come off James and now to play for a throw. But what a good opportunity that was a few moments ago, Stuart.
It certainly was. It's almost inconceivable you could get a pass that wrong, to be quite honest with you. Great opportunity. We've had probably 2 opportunities now where we should have set up goal, well, I wouldn't say goal scoring opportunities, but certainly work the goalkeeper or work an attempt. Well done there to Reece James. Good pressing, burst out the line, squeezed up on Rahm, limited the space he had to work in.
Gundogan's got it now, played him by the left back. It goes into the feet of Kimmich. Kimmich taking a touch, and his second just guides it away from Bellingham to play down for Rahm again. Now Gundogan back for Süle. Süle, who's 140 caps now at centre-half. Back to Gundogan. Gundogan turning it forward through the midfield. Hoffman in the half space can't make anything happen, but England can't get it away. Now it's played forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and Havertz might have made more of that. Hoffman, who scored the last time these 2 sides met, was in a great position on the right-hand side of the penalty area, but he couldn't be found. Back it goes again for Germany to bring it forward, and one of their players, Kehrer, goes down the right-hand side of the penalty area, and the VAR, Van Berkel, will look at that, but Danny McAlee was completely uninterested about giving a penalty. England are being able to work it away, and very quickly in Germany territory away to our right, where Kane will chase, but they've been able to get it back to ter Stegen easily enough, and Gundogan will just take a touch on the edge of the penalty area and find his goalkeeper, who has an easy pass to his left for Round, but he has in fact just used him as the disguise, dropped his shoulder and worked it back the other way. I haven't seen a replay of it yet. It didn't look like a penalty to me.
No, I'm not sure why he went to ground, to be honest with you, Jim. It was a good opportunity to burst beyond Sterling in a give and go, and he would have been better suited to do whatever he could to stay on his feet.
Germany link up through the midfield again. Havertz, short for Musiala. Musiala to his left for Raum. Raum to Schlotterbeck, and then to Ilkay Gundogan. And Gundogan just knocks it to his right-hand side, an opportunity for Sula to bring it forward. Kimmich, short, doesn't know whether to stick or twist and drop off the ball, fired in by Kehrer. And Sterling can get it away. Sterling has, to my eyes, Stuart, done more defensively in front of Shaw tonight than he did in front of Saka for him in Milan. Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, I think that would be fair. The one thing I would say about England, they get numbers back behind the ball, but I still feel as though we've got to be more aggressive in the press. The actual shape's not bad. It's what you do from the shape is the most important thing. Germany had opportunities then with 3 or 4 forward passes, almost too much room.
Well, we've got more live sport coming your way across the network this week here on Talksport. Tomorrow night, Scotland against Ukraine, with the Scots hoping to be promoted, take England's place in League A. They take on Ukraine again, and you can hear it on Talksport 2. Build up starting at 7 ahead of a 7:45 kickoff tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, more WSL action. Chelsea against West Ham. It's a 7:05 kickoff. Don't forget the small mother of the North London derby coming your way Saturday, game day live. A superb game day live with Reshman Chowdhury, 11 o'clock. Start ahead of a 12:30 kickoff with Clive Allen and Perry Groves alongside Sam Matterface. North London derby Saturday lunchtime. James back defending for England. Gets it back for Pope. Pope getting it away. Good shape on the body to make sure he's got plenty of elevation and distance on the clearance. James back for Stones again. Stones to Dyer. And Dyer will work it forward through the midfield via Bellingham to Stones. The retreating Foden and back for Bellingham. And now James back for Stones. And Stones goes back, and then Nick Pope sends it forward, and when he does so again, it's just a fight ball. It's a fight that Kane won. He's flipped it on looking for Sterling, and then very nearly got there ahead of Kehrer, who had dealt with that initial flick, but a heavy touch just saw Kane's eyes light up for a moment. But Germany were able to bring it forward once more. Still 0-0. Good ball from Gundogan. Looking for Sana. Good challenge from James, but they haven't got possession. Back round, making his way forward from left back. Flipping it inside the box. Diving header away came from Dyer. Brought down then by Kimmich. Can't get himself into a shooting position. Declan Rice just blocking the alleys. He's chipped it forward and over the head of Musiala. And a play for a goal kick that Nick Pope will take. 12 minutes from half-time. Could argue, I think, quite constructively that England have been the better side so far, especially in the last 15 minutes, but it's still 0-0 here on Talksport. Stuart.
Yeah, I think we've been the better side, but the one thing I would say is I still feel as though we're playing too many backward passes when potentially a forward pass would be on and better suited and quicker. And we've had probably 2 or 3 really good opportunities in advanced areas where we've not found the final clinical pass.
Well, the other game in this group has seen the deadlock broken in Budapest. Italy leading with Giacomo Raspadori, who scored the winner against England the other night, giving the Italians the lead. Hungary 0, Italy 1. Italy win the group and go through the final 4 if it stays that way. A draw enough for Hungary. Gundogan, right-footed, chipped, looking for Raum. Duracell bunny the way he makes his way forward down that left-hand side, and he's won it back from Reece Jones after Stones' initial header. Stones there with a better defensive touch, and then another excellent one, and will continue his run forward, having fed Foden. Foden clipping it left-footed, almost perfect for Raheem Sterling. Just a little bit too far ahead of him, and the curve took it in towards Ter Stegen, but nearly the perfect defence-splitting pass from Phil Foden. And now play will stop because Stones has gone down injured.
I think this was being talked about a couple of minutes ago. I don't think that's just happened now. There was sort of talk and communication with 1 or 2 of the subs. I've got to say, Foden should be making that pass. At this standard, a player of his ability, Sterling should have made the pass earlier. Foden definitely should have made that pass as well. And they're the defining moments in games that put you in front, or alternatively give the opposition a let out.
So Stones is down, and he's just having his right leg attended to, but it's a hamstring problem by the look of it. Carl Walker is the man that he replaced in the starting lineup tonight, and you would imagine that he would be the natural one to come on the right of three centre halves, but Gareth might prefer to have a look at Cody or Gurhey. Could drop Reece James in there and bring Trippier on as a right wing back maybe, but there's a little bit of action on the England bench.
Someone stripped off down there, Jim, and my eyesight isn't good enough to tell you exactly who it is.
Yeah, it's Walker who's going to be coming on. Just making his way now to the edge of the technical area, and he might feel he's got a point to prove left out tonight with Stones back from suspension and Walker the full guy for that. So he'll come on and he'll get a thick end of an hour here as Stones makes his way off under his own steam, looking frustrated but clearly not in a position to take any risks with any niggling injuries that any player picks up. There's a little low five between Stones and his manager as he leaves the field. So Walker is going to come on, and Carl Walker will win his 70th cap for his country here. Play on the right three centre halves in Hungary, right back against Germany in a 4 the last time these two countries met, but he's back on the right of the three. So it's Walker, Dyer, Maguire, as it was in the heart of the defence for the match at the San Siro on Friday. Got 8 to go to half-time. It's going to be a couple of minutes added on at the end of the first half here on Talksport. The other game in this group, Italy leading in Hungary by a goal to 0. Georgia leading Gibraltar. Romania 1, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0 elsewhere in the Nations League. Not a high-scoring night. Not too many clear-cut opportunities here, but the best of them have all fallen England's way. Schlotterbeck, left-footed, fired inside the England penalty area. Shaw shuffles across the head away. And then Gundogan knocks it down for Kimmich. Kimmich to Sane. Can't get past Walker. Foden cleverly turns it round the corner for Bellingham. Now England are on the front foot again. Bellingham finds Sterling. Sterling's got Shaw making a quick run to his left-hand side. Kane's in the middle. Foden's there as well. And the cross from Shaw takes a deflection. And England get another corner out of it. Sterling playing in Shaw. First-time delivery from him. Flicking off Thilo Kehrer for England's third corner.
Yeah, much better by England there. Turnover of possession. I think on turnover of possession, that should signal to at least 5 of our players you're sprinting towards the opposition's goal.
Foden raises his right arm above his head, left-footed, delivers deep towards the penalty spot where it's headed over the bar. Disappointing attempt from Maguire, leaning back. He was under duress, in all fairness. Very difficult for him to keep that down. There he goes over the bar. Harry Maguire, who scored 7 goals for his country, more than any other England defender in history, 5 of those coming in 2021. Some way off target there. Rice has got it, and he's laid it back for Dyer. Dyer is a couple of caps short of 50 for his country now. Played out to the left. Flighted forward again by Maguire, finding James. James into the feet of Bellingham. Bellingham back for Walker. And England maintaining possession, but there have been a fair few sideways and backwards passes. Maybe as a percentage not quite as high as it was the other night, but still higher than many would like, including the esteemed colleague of mine to my left. James heading it forward. Foden just backing in, takes it down on his upper chest, but had 3 Germany players around him. Gundogan winning it back, and then Kimmich can flick it out towards the left. Round controls it. England have negated his attacking instincts down the left over the last 10-15 minutes or so, but he's taken up an advanced station again here. Gundogan under pressure from Bellingham, who's done well there pressing the ball and forcing Gundogan to play a hurried ball inside his own half. Sula and Kehrer and Kimmich all take a touch, but England's press forces them to go all the way back to Ter Stegen, and that's better from England, more unified up front.
Yeah, it's just got to be more aggressive in the press, I think. You know, it's one of those, get on the front foot, whoever's in your eye line, you're sprinting at them. If you don't do that, they've got enough ability in Kimmich and Gundogan to really cause us a big problem.
That's the German captain that takes a touch there, goes back for Ter Stegen, but The presence of Harry Kane was enough to force Ter Stegen to overhit his pass out to the far side, and England have got cheap possession back on the left. 5 minutes to go to the break. Is it going to be a 6 successive England match in which they failed to score in the first half? Looking that way at the moment. Bellingham put under pressure. The first 3 attempts at winning the ball back were probably fouls from Ilkay Gundogan, but the referee was just waiting to see if England could do anything constructive with it. They couldn't. So he's a pull play back and given England a free kick, which Maguire looks to take quickly, and he sent it an excellent ball out towards the left-hand side. That really was a good free kick. Out towards Shaw, and then Sterling has his legs taken away from him. No, the referee said no. No foul by Sula, but England will it back with Shaw. Looking for Foden around the edge of the penalty area, but Sula's there, and England's going to be able to do the rest to be able to get it clear. Bellingham again in the right place at the right time, but he can't get a constructive foot in to stop Germany coming forward on the counter-attack. Has at least reduced a little bit of the momentum, and England have now got their shape back behind the ball and got the ball back then, and the Germans had it with 2.5 to go to half time at 0-0 here on Talksport. Worked on the right hand side of the midfield, back for Kimmich to Leroy Sané. Sané leaves it for Gundogan. Kimmich gets it again, chipped out towards Hoffman, but only out towards him, not to him, and that made it easy for Shaw, who just got in between the opponent and the ball, and then took a touch and was looking to work it up the left-hand side, and maybe just took his eye off the ball, literally as well as figuratively, and it drifted out of play for a throw. Germany take it quickly. Kehrer trying to make something happen. Musiala, right-hand side of the penalty area. First cross hits Eric Dyer. Back it comes again to the right-hand side of the box for Kimmich. And he worked the angle together to cross. He can't. He's well defended again by Dyer. Jumped up with his arms down by his side to make sure that he wasn't going to concede a penalty. And it goes out of play for a Germany throw. About 8-10 yards from the corner flag over on the far touchline, which is their right. 0-0 it remains. A much better performance from England this evening. Still, we'll feel that there's plenty of room for improvement, but a few shards of light at the end of the tunnel. Ball goes out of the right-hand side of the box for Germany, chested very calmly by Walker. Down for Nick Pope. And it's nearly 2 to go to a half-time.
Yeah, really good. I've got to say, in this first half, in the German ranks, obviously Kimmich and Gundogan in the centre of the midfield have caught the eye. Musiala is one of those that certainly caught my eye tonight. I think he's been really good. And as you say, England's performance has been a lot better, and probably some of their best work, Jim, has come when we've got the ball forward reasonably quickly and longer balls rather than playing too sort of predictable, trying to play out through tight areas.
Now, big shouts that England should have had a free kick, but nothing was given by the referee, who again was well placed, and Germany can bring it forward. Hoffman with a little pirouetted nutmeg of Declan Rice for a moment, but there was nothing following that, and England have got it forward quickly. Kane for Sterling, driven across the edge of the 6-yard box at a sharpish angle that allowed Ter Stegen to make the save. They couldn't find the far corner or Foden, who was coming in with pace inside the penalty area, and the chance comes to nothing. But Ter Stegen much the busier of the two goalkeepers in this first half. 0-0.
Yeah, it's that energy and drive that we're very good at, and England in their pomp show that, certainly on that occasion. Once again, turnover of possession, play a forward pass and a forward run. Certainly Kane and Sterling contributed there really well.
Kehrer for Gundogan. Germany bringing forward again. Up to 316 minutes since England last scored. Just 5.25 hours, as near as makes no difference. And it scored open play in 11 halves of football. If they found a goal here. Ball goes out to the German right. Kehrer trying to spin back inside the penalty area was Leroy Sané. The referee said no foul, and Foden can bring it away. Sula having a little nibble at him. Sterling bringing it forward. Foden again making the run. Kane picks it up over on the wide left for England, but goes back for Shaw. Shaw in turn for Harry Maguire. He's added on at the end of this first half, predominantly because of the John Stones injury. Maguire sending another good ball out towards the England left. But Kane's control, well, it looked very good, but he clearly just ran out of room on the far touchline. His first touch looks like might have kept it in, but he just pulled up in his stride, which kind of betrayed the fact that it had gone out of play for a throw, and the officials acknowledged that throw that Germany have taken quickly. And they go back for Ter Stegen. So 90 seconds of the first half to go. A first half which has seen Germany have a couple of attempts. England have had twice as many, and Ter Stegen forced into one really good save from Raheem Sterling. Incidentally, let me flag up Drive tomorrow here on Talksport. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Joe Joyce is going to be in the studio on the show tomorrow, and we'll be reflecting on his win against Joseph Parker. And that's coming up on Drive tomorrow between 4 and 7, with all the reaction to this England performance as well. First half that's had more positives than just about any other half of Nations League football that England have played. It's not a particularly high bar to get over, I'll give you that. And Germany with Gundogan inside the centre circle. And we'll just bring it into England territories for the last phase of play of this first half. Kimmich sending him out towards the right hand side for Thilo Kehrer. Back for Joshua Kimmich again. Back behind Gundogan. Gundogan getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Musiala driving on, trying to get himself into a position that he could get a right-footed shot in, but he couldn't. Now he comes out to the left-hand side for Schlotterbeck. The centre-half does like to get forward as well. Ilkay Gundogan towards the edge of the box. Kimmich from distance, just wide. Pope probably, difficult to say from here, had it covered. Maybe would have been a close run thing had that been creeping inside the post. It went the right side from an England perspective, and it's going to take us through to half-time at 0-0.
Yeah, I think Gareth will be pretty pleased with his first half performance. It's certainly been a lot better than Friday evenings, there's no doubt. Showed more energy. Downsides, too many backward passes potentially, and it ended up at the goalkeeper. I don't think that's good. But when we have got it forward in advanced areas and look to get forward, we've certainly hurt the Germans.
Sixth successive England game in which they failed to score in the first half. But definitely a step in the right direction from what we saw in the San Siro. Some positives. Raheem Sterling and Phil Foden have linked up well. They could have linked up even better on a couple of occasions. Harry Kane's come close. Sterling's forced a good save from Ter Stegen. And one shot that Nick Pope was just able to watch wide in the last moments of the first half, as close as Germany have come. Not too many undue alarms, but room for improvement going forward. Half-time, it's England 0, Germany 0. Germany making a change at half-time. Timo Werner has come on, and he's replaced Jonas Hoffmann. So Werner on for Hoffmann at the beginning of the second half. Werner scored 8 goals in his last 12 internationals. No one scored more since Hansi Flick took over Die Mannschaft. He got 2 in a minute against Italy back in June. And he's just one short of 100 in his 2 spells for Leipzig now. Back underway. England in all red, with dark blue trim and light blue numbers, and they're kicking from right to left in this first half. Luke Shaw has played well tonight. That has certainly been one of the positives as far as England are concerned, and he's got the ball in his hand, and in Sterling has very cleverly rolled his man just on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Kehrer coming back to recover, threw himself down and got his back right in front of where the ball was going to go, and he stopped Sterling's path. His unorthodox defending. Germany end up getting a free kick. Sula goes back for Ter Stegen, and he will play it out to the left. England lining up Pope in goal. Stones, Dyer, Maguire, the starting back 3. Although Walker's come on as a substitute for the injured Stones in the first half. James, Bellingham, Bryson, Shaw, and then Foden, Kane and Sterling. Luke Shaw's in possession. Timo Werner is playing through the middle with Havertz and Sane. Well, Havertz is sort of playing as a 10, Sane drifting out to the left, but they played a 3-4-2-1 formation at times against England back in June. Now the ball's worked forward here for Shaw. He's looking right across the line, but he's gone too early and he's flagged offside. And it's a free kick which will be taken by the Germans just outside their own penalty area. It's 0-0, 90 seconds gone in the second half. And alongside me is Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, good start by England there. Good diagonal ball. Shaw looking to work the back line and going behind. Probably like to see Reece James do that a little bit more regularly as well. Get forward in advanced areas, so at least that diagonal ball is available to him.
Sane doing well, drops the ball off at the feet of Havertz, out towards Timo Werner. Werner sprinting towards the edge of the penalty area, and he's laid it back here for Kimmich. To his right is Musiala. That's a good ball play around the back of Luke Shaw. Musiala with time to control it. Played it back towards the edge of the penalty area, but Bellingham read it and came back to clear. And now Sterling will be able to bring it forward. And this is where England look at their most dangerous. 3 against 3 again. Foden's made an uncharted run through the middle, but he needed the ball to be played first time. Sterling's got an edge of the penalty area. Germany have got 6-7 back behind the ball. But it looks most likely that if England are to score, it will come after turning over possession inside their own half, getting it forward quickly. Now, Stuart, at half-time, you and I talking off air about that wonderful performance away to Spain, quite early in Gareth's reign, where England were 3 up at half-time. And you made the point, looking at the highlights of the first half here, it was just like watching that Spain game all over again.
Yeah, it certainly was. As I say, it's a good early ball in behind and a good penetrating run, which we saw just then. Sterling, I know Aid to my left was a little bit frustrated that he couldn't find the pass to Foden, but I've got to say it's probably more difficult actually than it actually looked.
Here's Sterling again, right-footed effort, well saved. Stegen's good starting position meant that he's able to close the angle down, and he dived to his left-hand side, got his hands behind it, and just brought it down, caught the ball about 6 inches off the ground. Well, shot on target at the beginning of the second half for England. Germany looking to bring it forward quickly. They've moved Musiala to the right, although he's actually over on the left at the moment, but he's by and large playing on the right. Sane on the left, Werner through the middle, and Havertz has dropped in at 10 now in this second half. Kimmich and Gundogan, the 2 central midfielders, and it's still the same back four: Kerasula, Schlotterbeck and Raum in front of Ter Stegen. Here's Kimmich in possession, the German captain. He just brings the ball to the edge of the centre circle. Then just waiting for the ball to be chipped over the top, and he got to it with Pope a long way off his line, and he's got his right foot underneath it, flicked it forward, but he was offside.
This is my point, Jim, about giving the Germans a little bit too much respect. We're in a really good position in regard to the shape of the team, but that's all well and good. But if you give the likes of Kimmich, as we're looking at their 10 yards, to actually just dink one over the top of our back line and wait for the run.
And he was onside actually, and then going down inside the area, Musiala, referee says no penalty. And Flick is convinced that it is, and he stands hands outstretched on the edge of his technical area. I mean, will be checked by the VAR, Paul van Berkel. But that was all England's undoing. Almost architects of their own downfall there, trying to play out from the back once more, giving possession away. It will be an England throw to restart play, I think, but the referee is just going over to see if Musiala's okay. We're having a look at the replay now, and it's a penalty. It is a penalty. It is. It hasn't been given yet. Maguire has fouled him. Musiala just with his legs over the top of the ball.
Yeah, it's a penalty. There's no doubt, and to be fair, this boy Musiala, he has been a handful today. I think he's been a real quality. He dipped in behind Shaw only moments earlier, a magnificent run, which was really difficult to track. And once again, quick feet there, I think was enough to unhinge Maguire.
And the fourth official, the VAR, Paul van Berkel, has suggested to Danny McAlee that he goes across to have a look, and he's done that and given the penalty. One angle enough. Sees the contact from Maguire, and it's a penalty to Germany.
Yeah, I don't think we can have any arguments there. Good movement with his feet, and Maguire just couldn't move his feet quick enough to deal with the problem that we had.
So England on the back of 2 straight defeats, and now at 0-0 they're going to face a penalty. Nick Pope coming out to the edge of the D, just having a word with a couple of his teammates. Gundogan that has got the ball in his hand, and Pope stands by the penalty spot. Was he just trying to churn the penalty spot up, I wonder? Raum took exception to whatever he was doing, and there were a couple of angry words that were exchanged between the two players. Pope now will walk backwards towards his line, and Ilkay Gundogan will come forward and spot the ball down for Germany.
When you look at how we've given the possession away that's led to the penalty, we'll be really disappointed in that.
Pope Pope bobbing up and down on his line. Gundogan right-footed, sent it into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a night in which England have played much better than they did in the San Siro, but it's a familiar story because they trail again and they're now staring down the barrel of a third successive loss, which would equal the national record. Hardly perfect going into a World Cup campaign. They've got just over half an hour to rescue it. It's England 0, Germany 1.
Yeah, top quality penalty there. Showed great composure, just stroked it into the corner. Nick Pope held his ground, but could do nothing about that. And the biggest disappointment will be, we spoke at half-time, Jim, about England playing out from the back and being a little bit slow and predictive with it, and that was a definite point in case. Give the ball away and then give the penalty away.
It was Dyer that played it square for Maguire. Maguire under pressure, poor first touch. Musiala had it. Maguire fouled him, and the VAR did get it right. Penalty converted by İlkay Gundogan, and England trail. So this is a test of mettle for England. It wasn't enough to start with. Here's Bellingham now towards the edge of the penalty area, setting it up for Rice. Rice to Luke Shaw, scooped in with the outside of his left boot, chested down by Bellingham. Big handball shout, and the ball is cleared. And the VAR will be inspecting that as well, but play goes on for now. Sane in possession. He's lost out to Reece James. James brings it forward, but has fouled Sane. And it's going to be a free kick, which will be taken by Germany, which is having another look. Hoping to see another look of the handball shout inside the penalty area. Bellingham going up for it. He's chested it down, and that's not a penalty.
No, he's headed it. He's credit to him and credit to the England team. His hand was flailing in front of him, but I don't think there was any contact there.
İlkay Gundogan, the first footballer to score penalties at Wembley in both the Champions League final and the Nations League. I would imagine that he'll still be able to say that in a good few years' time, to be fair. Here's James, over on the right-hand side. 10 seasons ago that he scored that. Penalty in the Champions League final, his Dortmund days. Ball cleared away to our right-hand side by Pope. Headed back through the midfield. Eric Dyer watched it bounce and knocks it away. Well, it's amazing. One goal can make a real difference, because Wembley, which was not a cathedral of noise at any stage, but there was a little murmur of encouragement for England in the first half. Now it feels really flat. Ball played forward, Sterling will chase. It's headed down by Kehrer. Harry Kane's got it. Down towards Sterling again. Shaw making a run outside him. Foden, the most advanced of the England players. Kane's in there to join him as well. Shaw cleverly angles the ball towards the edge of the penalty area for Declan Rice. Rice to Sterling. Harry Maguire making his way forward. Maguire firing a lofted ball out to the England right-hand side for Reece James. He checks, pulls it back. Bellingham fires it over the bar. 1-0 Germany lead with 55 gone on Talksport.
Yeah, good play there by England. Moving the ball very quickly, players running forward, good switch of play, and James identifying Bellingham coming in late. Should have really done a little bit better than that and got over the top of the ball. Better, more positive.
The last 12 halves of football that England have played, they've scored with a Tyrone Mings header from a corner and a Harry Kane penalty in Munich, and that has been it. Declan Rice making his way forward, and he's fouled. A set piece just in from the left-hand touchline, 15 yards from the corner flag, constitutes a good opportunity. Dyer comes forward, Maguire comes forward, what he would give for an equaliser to earn a strike back after his errors for the penalty. Rice fouled by Kehrer, his West Ham teammate, and what can Reece James muster from here?
Yeah, better from England. Every time England are positive with a run or a forward pass, we look as though we're going to hurt the Germans in some way, shape or form. When we're slow and predictable with our build-up, well, as we saw with the goal, it's led to the penalty.
James takes it, firing it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Too much curve on it, and it was easily punched away by ter Stegen. Frustrating squandering of a decent opportunity for England. Ball back with Kyle Walker. Walker on the edge of the centre circle, but inside his own half. Played forward then, and flicked round the corner by Foden. will make his way into the middle as Reece James has turned his man. He's checked to try and get in and then wins a corner with a cross that deflects away off ground.
Reece James has done brilliant there. Great run. Foden's helped it on. A little through the legs and a flick on. And he's gone beyond the last player. And it was just that checking back. Go beyond the last player and put it in the danger zone.
In comes the corner, in towards the near post, looking for a flick on. Comes for Bellingham, who miscues it as he slips on the edge of the penalty area and it goes wide. Out of play for a goal kick that ter Stegen will take. England trailing by a goal to nil with 57 minutes gone. And 30 minutes without scoring tonight. At that stage, it was their longest run without a goal under Gareth Southgate. We're nearly half an hour past that now. And still this well-talked about goal drought continues. Shots on target, forthcoming. Shots off target, forthcoming. But England not making the most of opportunities on the counter-attack, not making the most of set pieces, and still haven't scored. Dyer almost able to squeeze it through the midfield towards Sterling, who does get there at the second attempt, holding off Musiala. Then Shaw has lost out, and it's a German throw. He's done well tonight, Musiala, as you've been saying, Stuart. A player who won a couple of caps for England's under-21s. He was raised mainly in South London. His dad is British Nigerian, his mum's German, and he elected to declare for Germany back in February last year. He was actually on the books of Southampton as a youngster, and then Chelsea for 8 years as a kid. It's Timo Werner, talking to former Chelsea players, and Werner's in, and he's knocked it square, and Walker is able to poke it clear. And Luke Shaw just stumbled and fallen over inside the penalty area, and that made Werner's job much, much easier. And it's almost inexplicable that he couldn't find a teammate from where he was. Sula brings it forward. This is such a test of nerve for England. They've got to make sure that they don't allow the situation to rattle them. Talked before the game about playing the situation as well as the opposition, and that's more prevalent now as they look at yet another defeat. Ball is worked forward towards Leroy Sané. Kimmich. Back for Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan 15 yards away from the edge of the penalty area. It's a night where up until the concession of the goal there were positives for England. They can't afford to let one mistake in a phase of play see everything unravel, because the psychological difference between that happening and not happening going into the World Cup will be immense. As Sula makes his way forward and shoots, but he's dragged it wide. A tame effort in the end, past Pope's far post, out of play, played an hour. England have half an hour to salvage it. They trail 1-0.
That phase of play just emphasised the point I said. Every England player bar Kane behind the ball, but they were able to play a straight ball for a player coming off and receiving in 4 or 5 yards of space to set the shot up with a layoff. You can't afford to do that at this standard of football.
England just giving it away now. A few have lost their heads, I think. The ball played in. Maguire stops Musiala being able to turn him. Sterling has it on the left. He's lost out to a combination of Havertz and Kehrer. And now Kimmich. One of the things that has been talked about on the charge sheet against Gareth Southgate is the slight passiveness at times in the perception of some supporters in terms of making substitutions. He's going to be making a double change in a moment, and just to try and shake things up. Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham are the players that are going to be coming on. Well, the players, Saka's down there as well, so Saka is getting ready. You can see where it's 2 or 3 players that come on at this juncture. Saka and Mount have got their shirts on, 18 and 19 respectively. Sliding challenge coming in from Bellingham, slightly mistimed, and then Maguire's been caught as well, and it's played in towards Timo Werner, across the face of Pope's goal and just wide. While England have conceded 1 in the second half, they should really have conceded 3. They're imploding.
Yeah, good play there by Germany on the turnover of possession. They've gone past 2-3 players who dived in, should have stayed on their feet, and then that final pass into Werner. 2 touch, 1 touch to take it a little bit wider, and then, to be honest with you, he should be hitting the target from there. Well, that wins the game, Jim, I think, if that goes in.
Sorry, Stu. Maguire playing it forward there, and Sterling giving chase. Kimmich under pressure from Kane, who then chases Schlotterbeck. England were trailing by a goal to nil to Germany in Munich for much of the second half before finding an equaliser. I'm not sure it's going to be the result from here that matters. I think it's England's performance from this point on that primarily will judge the mood. You have to look at it, of course, in the context of what has preceded it, with 2 points from 5 games, with 1 goal from 5 games. But England cannot afford just to fall apart, because that could have a devastating effect for individuals' psyche going into the World Cup. So we'll see who's coming off. Saka and Mount are the players that will be coming on in a moment. England are in possession inside German territory. They trail to an Ilkay Gundogan penalty after a mistake, and then a foul by Harry Maguire, losing possession to Musiala and then fouled him and trying to win it back. Rice back to Walker. Walker, right, but England have lost John Stones to injury, finds his goalkeeper. Dyer will bring it forward. Dyer will work it forward towards halfway. He's given it away now towards Kimmich, and the favour's been returned immediately, although Havertz chasing the ball that almost didn't get to the edge of the penalty area. A poke came outside his box and just got it away. England bring it forward with Foden. Sterling tried to take it on the half turn, wasn't pulled back by Carey despite his claims. Gundogan brings it forward. Rice does well to win it back right on the centre spot. Good little pirouette and block of the ball. And then he'll be able to turn in possession and feed it out wide towards James on the right-hand side. But it's mistake-ridden now, it's fractious, and there are players who are struggling.
Yeah, it is a little bit loose there, that ball from Foden into Sterling. Not a good ball, I've got to say. Should have been slightly better on the money. And England look better when it almost is a little bit of skirmish, and then all of a sudden it breaks and there's a counter-attack opportunity.
Dyer played the ball towards James. Kane made a really good run, but James didn't deliver across. He waited and then tried to get it in. It was blocked. Next phase of play, he's got it again. James, right-hand side of the penalty area, and he's driven it across towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Defensive header puts it out of play. Well watched by Sula. Out of play for another England corner. England 0, Germany 1 here on Talksport.
Yeah, the fans now getting behind the England team. I think all they need a little bit of encouragement to come on side, and the only people that can do that is the 11 on the pitch at present.
Foden takes the corner, swung it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. First contact from Eric Dyer, but he's very frustrated with himself and he's headed it over the bar. Out of play for a goal kick. So changes being made, and Saka will replace Foden. And Mason Mount is going to come on for Sterling. So Foden and Sterling off, Saka and Mount on. It's good to see.
Yeah, I think we'll see a true version of Bukayo Saka. I think he started the season really well, and he's gone over to his favourite position on that right-hand side, and Mason Mount as well, just come out on this left-hand side to supplement Harry Kane.
Well, those are the thoughts of Stuart Pearson. You can hear more from the great man tomorrow morning as he joins Laura Woods and Ali McCoist on Breakfast, which starts at 6 tomorrow. And Stu with the guys from 8. And it's also great hearing former cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew this morning. I don't know whether you call that. I was talking about Joe Joyce's win against Joseph Parker. Joe himself in the studio on Drive tomorrow between 4 and 7 here on Talksport. And don't forget tonight, following us, Game Night Live on Talksport. Jason Cundy and Carlton Palmer taking your calls, and you can hear Gareth Southgate's thoughts on this performance with our England correspondent Faye Carruthers. As Maguire brought the ball forward there and decidedly mixed reaction as he did so. He's lost possession. He thought he was fouled. He's trying to get back in position now as Timo Werner has it towards the edge of the area. He's worked his square for Kai Havertz. Left-footed curving effort, and it's 2-0 to Germany. He goes from bad to worse. This not the pre-World Cup send-off that England wanted or needed, and they're going to go to Qatar on the back of breaking some unwanted records. England 0, Germany 2, and England getting booed as they implode in this second half.
Well, there's a real disappointment from England now, conceding that second goal. At this stage, you've got to take your hat off and say that was some finish by Havertz. Come to him, on the right-hand side of the box here. Good setup. Harry Maguire got caught in a little bit of traffic in the German half. The counter-attack, off they come the Germans, and it was Havertz who played a part in the build-up, and then eventually received the ball in the inside right position, and he was just, well, it was just a wonderful, wonderful finish. Just guided the ball off the post into the far corner.
Germany are going to make a double change of their own. Gnabry is coming on for Sane, and Raum is going to be replaced by Robin Gosens, who's going to make the move to Leicester City today. He's currently playing his football in Italy. I say currently playing his football in Italy. He's currently sitting on the bench in Italy. He's going to come on off the bench now. He'll replace Raum, and that'll be a straight swap on the left-hand side of the back line. And Gnabry for Sane is the other change being made. We're midway through the second half. That Kai Havertz goal is 9th for his country, his first in his last 6 games. And England with it all to do, trailing at home to Germany by 2 goals to 0. Is it going to be a third successive defeat? It looks that way. That will equal England's national record. It's happened 7 times in the past, most recently back in 2018 when England lost to Croatia, Belgium and Spain. England unable to find a goal against the side who have conceded in each of their last 14 Nations League matches. A goal to England in that time. Mount on the edge of the penalty area, making life difficult. Bellingham with a shot. Ter Stegen gets down behind it and makes the save. Well, let's look at positives with 20 minutes to go. If England can come from 2-0 down and feeling as they are at the moment to get back, maybe to draw 2-2, you'd have to say that would be a big fillip for them going into the World Cup. They've come back from 2 down at this stage against Germany in the relatively recent past to win in Berlin a few years back, but it's hard to see it happening now. Not for one moment am I accusing the England players of feeling sorry for themselves, but I think the pressure of the shirt and the situation is not bringing the best out of them ever since Harry Maguire's mistake led to that first goal. As Gundogan plays it back to his goalkeeper, Ter Stegen plays out from the back. A chance for the Germans to bring the ball forward into space. Werner have made a run a little bit too early. Gnabry shot the curly hair, can't control as he tried to take it on the half turn, and Dyer gets us back to his goalkeeper Nick Pope, who will clear towards halfway. Kane going up for it has won it, and he's able to flick it on to Mason Mount, who will make a run past him on the left-hand side of England's forward 3. Saka in the middle. Kane is there as well. Chipped into that area on the edge of the 6-yard box. Kane going up for it, couldn't get there. It's cleared relatively easily by Schlotterbeck, and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the England left by Luke Shaw. We've got 20 minutes to go, Stuart Pearce. It's 2-0 to Germany.
Yeah, at this stage it's one of those, the Germans have got their tails up, there's no doubt about that. They're a quality side, especially when you give them a 2-goal lead. You can see the confidence in their play at this moment in time. We've got to stay in the game, and hopefully something drops for us, but certainly show the crowd bags of energy, bags of ability, and keep looking to get forward and switch play as quickly as we can and try and get something out of the game. Certainly getting a goal would be a big lift.
Harry Kane's still on there. Abraham and Tony still waiting on the bench. It's still the same shape, although the centre-halves are given a little bit more licence to push forward in open play now as James works down towards the right-hand side and then gets a return ball from Bukayo Saka. It's in and flicked on. It's Luke Shaw, and it's in. And it's one back. Luke Shaw halves the deficit, and England have broken their goal drought. How important that was that it happened tonight. Their first goal in open play in 568 minutes, scored by Luke Shaw, and it's England 1, Germany 2.
Yeah, good play there, got forward really well, and we had numbers in the box, 4 players in the box there, and it was Luke Shaw at the far post. Always rely on the left back to get you out of trouble, Jim, so they say.
So they used to say. Yes, absolutely. Luke Shaw with the goal on 72 minutes. It's still being checked by the VAR. Don't celebrate too prematurely. You can now. It counts. England 1, Germany 2. It clearly went over the line. I don't think there was too much doubt about that. And it was flicked back from only just behind the line. From the restart, immediately from the restart, one of the German players has gone down injured in the midfield. I think it's Kimmich, who just ended up getting caught as Kane and Bellingham tried to barrel forward. Shaw with the goal, the man who scored what we thought might just be one of the biggest goals in England's history here at Wembley back in July of last year. That's his third goal for his country tonight. Just having another view of it, there was a push inside the 6-yard box. Shaw chested it down at the far post of the ball, got to him and he had time to get his left foot behind it, and the goalkeeper took some of the sting out of the shot, but not quite enough, and the ball over the line by the time Sula had cleared. Okay, Stuart, give us an overview. 20 minutes of playing time to go by the time we restart here. England have got it back to 2-1. Do they change the shape? Do they gamble? What do you need to see from here? Do you need to see Abraham get some minutes? Do you need to see Ivan Toney get his debut as a potential plan B if Harry Kane, for whatever reason, misses games through injury or suspension in the World Cup? What does Gareth need to see over the next 20 minutes? What are the questions still in his mind that need answering?
Well, I think the biggest thing he needs to see is a reaction, and I think he's half got that at the moment, certainly with the goal. Needs to see a big reaction over this next 20 minutes, and we need to get on the front foot. You know, all the things that apply in my observations, I think, in the first 5 minutes still apply now, to be honest with you, Jim. Get forward quickly, play the ball when we've switched it wide, and that was probably the first telling cross that Reece James has put in, I would have said. He's got the ability to put really good quality into the box. He needs to do that and get forward as much as he can.
Now Rice has won it back in the midfield from the restart. No foul on Gundogan. Saka has it. Oh, good drop of the shoulder. Right, put it in. Oh, it's 2-2. It's 2 in 2 minutes. And England are back on level terms. Almost out of nothing. It's Mason Mount off the bench to score the goal. Wow, that will do England the power of good. 2-0 down, dead and buried. And they've scored twice in 2.5 minutes. A turnover of possession, work forward, wonderful turn by Saka, and then Mount making a great run on the edge of the D, still have plenty to do, but he's bent it round the defender Kehrer and in past the goalkeeper, and all of a sudden Wembley's reinvigorated. England is reinvigorated. 2 apiece, a quarter of an hour to win it.
Jim, ball got played into Saka, and I lost count the amount of times I've turned round and said on Friday night and tonight, you have to get turned and run at the opposition. Exactly what Saka done, and Mason Mount offered him a pass. There's the goal. Wonderful reaction from England. You ask me what England need to do in the next 20 minutes, they need to do this, and whichever way the result goes now, on the grounds of this game isn't crucial to whether we go through to the next round or not, keep us on the front foot, please.
Harry Kane has caught Kimmich, and it's a foul to Germany. 2 goals in 2 minutes, and in that 2 minutes Kimmich was down receiving treatment for half of it, so he's probably 2 goals in about 45 seconds worth of action.
Yeah, and both of those I've got to give big credit to Saka here. First one he's run beyond and helped set up the cross for James. Second one received in the feet, had nothing else on his mind but get turned and run at the opposition. Well done you.
That might put a slightly different spin on your thoughts of tonight ahead of the phone-in with the boys later. Jason Cundy and Carlton Palmer taking your calls. Gareth Southgate, if he stays this way, will be slightly more upbeat than he would have been 6 minutes ago. And we'll hear from the England manager and the headline makers as well in Game Night Live on Talksport from 10 o'clock when we're done here at Wembley tonight. It's 2 apiece, and Kane's got the ball at his feet in the midfield, and he's got Saka making a great run ahead of him, and he's got Reece James as well on the right hand side of the penalty area. It's pulled back towards Kane, who can't get it in past Napoli. The other thing worth mentioning, that second goal, the 2 men who just come on combining. And, okay, as a manager, sometimes it works your way, sometimes it doesn't. But I think he probably would have done Gareth good as well to make a double change that has reaped dividends as instantly as it has. Here's Luke Shaw now, left-hand side of the penalty area, driven in, hit Kera on his backside on the edge of the box, no penalty. There's more of a verve and a belief about England than there has been for months. Mount wires into a challenge and wins it clearly from Gundogan. And now you look down and you see Bellingham, just with a little fist bump, just trying to exert that little bit of extra energy and effort out of his teammates. And it just feels as though somebody has flipped a switch and that things have changed. And that there's been a line in the sand that England have been able to step over somehow. Goals from Shaw on 72 and Mount on 75. It's 2-2 on Talksport.
Yeah, sometimes when you strip everything away, ability and everything, sometimes it boils down to character, Jim, you know. And at the moment, the reaction to going 2-0 down and Germany having their tails up slightly, the reaction from the team has been very, very good and showed character. And more importantly, the two boys that have come off the bench have shown real character in regard to lifting the performance in their movement and their talent to score a goal.
Well, Germany are going to make a change. Musiala's come off, and Thomas Muller is on to replace him. Muller got a couple of goals against England in Bloemfontein back in 2010 in the World Cup, some 13 seasons ago. And he's on now, and he's on for his 118th cap. Harry Kane in midfield. England striving to get forward again. Referee plays the advantage. Mount was brought down on halfway off the ball. Referee acknowledged it. Play goes on. England has still got it. James chipping it through the midfield, brought down by Bellingham. The roof's going to come off the place if England score again. Shaw on the edge of the penalty area. Lays it back for Declan Rice. Rice to Mount to Shaw. Shaw trying to play it in, very left-footed. Luke Shaw, the angle wasn't forthcoming for him, but he's found Bellingham. Bellingham to Reece James. James checks back. Right-footed ball clipped in. Kane was waiting. It didn't get to him. Schlotterbeck saw to that. Bellingham back for Rice. German player stumbles off the ball. It's Havertz. No foul on him. Play goes on. Rice out to the England right-hand side. 10 to go. It's 2-2. And again, with England have fought back from 2-0 down. Now England have a player down injured on the edge of the penalty area. It's Bellingham. No foul on him is the call from the referee, although I think some of the England coaching staff have had another look at it and suggesting otherwise. They're in the ear of the fourth official. Bellingham's still down injured. And England are saying to the Dutch referee, Danny Macaulay, will you stop play so he can receive treatment? The referee has said that he won't, because it's not a head injury. So Dyer eventually fires it out towards James and play continues. Bellingham's back on his feet. And Luke Shaw's back on the ball. Shaw working into the feet of Harry Kane. Shaw gets the return ball. Shaw clipped to his right. Now play forward round the corner again towards Bellingham. Bellingham to Reece James. It's amazing, isn't it? You wait so long for a goal and then you get two in less than a minute's worth of play. And England are transformed. Saka with a lovely turn on the edge of the penalty area. It's Harry Kane on the turn! And those on this side of the ground thought it was in. But it's kissed the side netting up with deflection. It's a corner, 2-2.
It's interesting to see how Saka's movement forward and positional play has dragged Reece James with him. Reece James has been forward in the advanced last third of the pitch and more aggressive with his play. Probably because we've gone 1 or 2-0 down, but more importantly because I think Saka's come on.
Well, we just had another look at the challenge by Schlotterbeck on Bellingham. Are they having a look at this? The VAR is having a look at this. This is going to be given as well. And the referee's going to go over to the review area on the far side. As soon as he sees the angle we've just seen, he will point to the penalty spot. Because Schlotterbeck, who gave away a penalty against England in Munich, has clearly caught Jude Bellingham there. It's inside the penalty area by only a few inches, but the contact is there. He's not played the ball. It is a foul. The referee's about to draw a square in the air, I'm sure, and you'll hear the roar when he does. Wait for it. Here he comes. Penalty to England. scored yet, but if you're going to win a game, win it like this. Win it where you can show some resolve and character. And what a moment this is for Harry Kane. Now England have missed 3 of their last 8 penalties. But Kane scored his against Neuer in Munich. Can he score his here at Wembley against Ter Stegen? It will be his 51st goal for his country, and it would maintain his record of scoring against Germany every time he's faced them. Schlotterbeck picked up a yellow card for his foul. This is a massive moment.
It is. Credit to England, they've lifted from a 2-0 down deficit, they've lifted a performance, and now we're seeing a performance of energy. This is pre-summer, this performance now that we're seeing, Jim.
Harry Kane has spotted the ball down. Ter Stegen is running actually across his line. He's trying all the old tricks, the grobbelars and the Dudeks coming out. It's Kane, right-footed, yes, it's in, into the top left-hand corner. 3 goals in 10 minutes, and England have come back from 2-0 down against Germany to lead 3-2. And the hopes of an encouraging send-off to the World Cup have been completely revitalised by a crazy 10 minutes. A quarter of an hour ago you couldn't make a case for this happening, but it's like the clock has been turned back, and this is England, prime vintage 2021 England. It's not been the 2022 England that we've been so used to seeing. They've turned it around. Now can they continue to be proactive and hold on? It's England 3, Germany 2.
Well, what this is going to do for the confidence of the team, I've got to say, that was a wonderful penalty. Not necessarily under pressure, we're 2-2. There'll be bigger penalties to take, I'm sure, in the next couple of months. But that was a wonderful penalty, and the performance and the character this team is showing now from a 2-0 down deficit is absolutely commendable.
Wow. It's an England team that just can't buy a goal. And they've scored 3 in 10 minutes. But an England lead has sometimes been a dangerous thing, particularly against better opposition. Germany ranked 11th in the world, and it's important that England don't just sit back and try and soak it up. They've got to continue to do what they've done in the last 10 minutes or so that has got them here. Well, they're doing exactly that now as the ball is played forward, and Mount's got it, right-hand side of the penalty area. He can't find Saka, he checks, comes back out. Bellingham makes a good run across the edge of the box, and it's off Maverick in front.
Now, if you're going to decode what England have done going 2-0 down, Jim, and afterwards, the aggression on the press there was there for all to see. They're hunting impacts and they're hunting aggressively. They've got their tails up, they're playing forward, they're taking players on, they're getting crosses in the box. All the things we want to see from a group of players that certainly have the ability to cause a big problem at this World Cup for anybody, in my opinion.
And the songs are out for the first time tonight. It's just extraordinary. What a wonderful game football is. That emotions can change as quickly as that. And England haven't won the game yet. 4 minutes to go. But boy, the positives now. Here's Kane. And he's got the ball in German territory. And he's just gone up through the gears and he's leaving Kimmich in his wake. And he gets to the byline and he's fired it in. And it's curved behind the dead ball line before coming back in. It's out of play for a goal kick. England 3, Germany 2. And 15 minutes ago, England were 2-0 down. You couldn't write it, not with any plausibility in the context of what has preceded it for England. But it's happened, it's transpired. England now have got to hold on. Muller making a great run forward, but they couldn't find him as the ball is swept out to the German left. And a chance to play it in towards Muller, and then a shot from distance. Oh, spilled by Nick Pope, and it's in for 3-3. Nick Pope couldn't deal with Gnabry's shot. It was too hot to handle, and Havertz nips in and flicks it past him. And It's England 3, Germany 3.
Jim, you just made the statement there. What a game this is. And it's took us from a massive, massive low to a massive high and crashed us back down to earth again. As I say, the goalkeeper's got to do a lot better than that. It bounced in front of him. There was a little bit of pace on it. A goalkeeper of his ability, though, has got to deal with that. 3-3, still all to play for.
Well, Nick Pope's hardly had anything to do in the second half, and it did bounce in front of it at an awkward length. It was like that Yorker length delivery, but international goalkeepers save that. Or would expect to save those 96 times out of 100 at the very least. Here's Luke Shaw. So can England win it again? Mount to Bellingham inside the penalty area. Jude Bellingham trying to clip his way through, got it through the legs of Kehrer. Maguire stepping up from the defensive line, wins it back from Havertz, who then pushes Maguire in the back, but a free kick has been given Germany's way. Too many agree with that, including my most learned colleagues to my left, but it is a free kick to Germany, and they also will feel that there's a chance to win it. One just final statistic about the goals England have scored tonight. It's worth pointing out that this is the 15th game that Germany have played under Flick. They've never let in as many as 3 before. They've only let in more than 1 on one occasion, yet England have breached the back line 3 times in a 12-minute span. And a crowd of just a few less than 79,000 have certainly had value for it. 6 goals shared between the sides in a 35-minute spell in the second half, and still time for more. 90 seconds plus stoppage time to go. It's 3-3 on Talksport. Here's Thomas Muller for Germany towards the edge of the penalty area. It's worked out to the left and an opportunity to deliver with Maguire can head away. Werner's cross not the best, but he might get a second bite of the cherry here. The blonde-haired Leipzig man goes back for Ilkay Gundogan, whose penalty started the scoring tonight. It seems a long time ago now. Muller to Sula to Gnabry, back for Ilkay Gundogan. One of the shortest players on the pitch, shoulder, dark hair, lays it out to the left-hand side and gets an immediate return ball again from the fullback Gosens. Sula making his way forward from the back into the feet of Thomas Muller, edge of the penalty area. Chance for Havertz on a hat-trick to turn inside the box. He couldn't find Werner. Bellingham gets it away. The counter-attack's on. Kerry, he's played it over the top. And Saka's run from in his own half. He's onside. And he's in the penalty area. And the angle's tight. And Ter Stegen has saved it. Almost perfect. What a denouement to the night that would have been. And Ter Stegen dived to his right and got a finger to the flick around the post.
Well, we've covered some games over the years, my friend, but this is absolutely incredible. It's fantastic to watch. It's a brilliant spectacle for the profession that we love so much. And Saka there just getting hunted down by the recovering German defenders and just had to take it a little too wide, and a good save by the goalkeeper. But well played England and a wonderful goal by Harry Kane.
So Havertz is off, he won't be getting a hat-trick. Bela Kotchap of Southampton comes on for his debut. We've gone into 6 minutes of added time. England are going to make another change, and Jordan Henderson comes on. He replaces Bellingham. That is the most deserved hug he will ever have had from Gareth Southgate. He has sparkled. It's an England corner, 6 minutes to go from here. Shaw, an outswinger straight to the hands of Ter Stegen, disappointing delivery. 3-3. Can either side win it? By the off goal is Saka. Gnabry chasing a long ball that's been played forward. Walker comes across. Gnabry's playing it off him. Out of play for the front.
Yeah, it's important now we play with our heads. You know, this is a great test as well to make sure that when you do end up going into major World Cups and when push comes to shove, you play with your head as well as your heart. And it's Harry Maguire who's got a slight niggle, I think, with his knee at present. I don't know whether they're going to make the change or not. Seems to have a lot of discomfort. It looks like his thigh to me.
Well, England can't make the change because they've made substitutions at 3 separate junctures. One in the first half where Stones went off injured. They made the double change with Mount Saka coming on, and they've just brought Jordan Henderson on, so they can't make the change. And If Maguire's a passenger, he's a passenger. Throw to be taken on the German right. Short towards the edge of the penalty area for Muller. Muller back inside his own half for Sula. But if Saka had scored on that counter-attack and you were Hansi Flick, you'd have to look at it and it would have been naive with a capital N, the way they push players forward, just playing right into England's hands. But all of England's joy tonight, or the vast majority of it, has come on the counter-attack. Maguire is definitely labouring and has just gone in very strongly there on Muller. Won it cleanly, put it out of play for a throw, but he's running very gingerly to take up his station in what is now a back five for England, and they haven't got the ball. We've got 4 minutes of stoppage time to go, and it's 3-3, Stuart.
Yeah, I think where we stand at the moment, with Maguire sort of being inability to move, I would probably be tempted to put Declan Rice into that back three and move Maguire out and move him up the pitch somewhere.
Kehrer played down towards Thomas Muller. Muller laying it back to the halfway line from Nicolas Sula. Sula goes out towards Robin Gosens. Gosens down the left-hand side of the area, too strong for Timo Werner, and that goes out of play. A little bit of business elsewhere, incidentally, in League B, which is what England are going to be playing in the next Nations League campaign. I'll tell you the scores as the ball has gone out of play. Finland have survived, Romania have gone down, so Finland are one of the sides that England could end up playing. Italy have won this group 2-0. Victors tonight in Hungary, so they have won the group. It's 3-3 here at Wembley with 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Kane trying to bring the ball into his stride from a little flick from Saka has gone out of play. The referee has blown for a foul over on the far touchline of Serge Gnabry, and it's a free kick that Germany had taken quickly. Germany 1 win in 6 coming into this, England without a win in 5. Can either side improve their records with what would be just about the last action of the game? Your chance to react coming your way here on Game Night Live. Jason Conley and Carlton Palmer taking your calls from 10 on 03717 223344. You will hear from the headline makers. You will hear from Gareth Southgate. You'll have plenty to talk about. Does the second half change much in your views? Ball played forward towards the edge of the centre circle where Kane has climbed high and has won it and has beaten Sula, and it's a little backheel flick from Mount, and Saka gone dragging inside the penalty area with him. Shaw barrelling after it, and then Harry Maguire steps up and he can't win it. Free kick is given. The referee now goes across to check on Sula, who's still injured inside the centre circle. And play will restart with a German free kick in the right back position on the near touchline. 2 minutes 20, something like that to go. 3-3. I don't think any of us had 3-3 tonight. There were a fair few varied predictions in the Talksport box here as to how this might go, but 3-3 wasn't picked by anybody. Here's Kehrer, certainly wasn't at half-time at 0-0. Maguire playing it forward. Mount going up for it. Gundogan comes down for Kimmich, and Kimmich's 15 yards inside his own half. Rice, it's done really well. It would do England an inordinate power of good if they could somehow get a fourth here. Shaw, back for Maguire. Maguire with a long diagonal, that's a very nice ball. And acknowledged as such by the fans. Out towards James. James down the right-hand side of the area for Saka, who can turn bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. He's played it back. Henderson trying to work it in. Well, they break inside the penalty area. So another challenge comes in. The referee's given a free kick to Germany rather than a penalty to England. There are no complaints from now as he gets back to his feet. He's just trying to be alive to the situation. It didn't quite come off for him. Germany will bring it away. 6 minutes all but up now, but there will be a little bit of time to be added on. We've had a substitution. We've also had that injury to Sula in stoppage time. So probably a minute to go. The referee says another 6 minutes will do. And as the players leave the field in their final game before the World Cup, they do so to applause. And half an hour ago, that seemed utterly inconceivable. It was a stunning fight back from England, having been 2-0 down to come back to 3-2, ending their goal drought in style. 3 goals in 12 minutes, looking to turn it around. They couldn't hang on. Nick Pope couldn't hang on to a ball that was played in the penalty area. and it slipped out towards Kai Havertz, who scored an equalising goal. But England will go to Qatar with memories of a gorgeous 12-minute spell here, fresh in their minds. That will have done them the power of good. And for all the fact that there were a number of negatives tonight, there were positives to grasp hold on. There haven't been many of those in the recent past. And the fact that there are this evening, that the goal drought has ended, that England haven't been beaten, will at least feel like a big step in the right direction ahead of the matches that count against Iran, United States, Wales, and we hope more. Tonight it finishes England 3, Germany 3.